Distinguished guests, customers, long-term partners, colleagues, staff, family, a huge and warm welcome to you, no matter where you're joining us from around the world. My name is David Toomey and I'm your host for the product launch. As a company, we've had many milestones over the years, but none more pivotal than this moment right here. It's the launch of the third generation of our electric vehicle fast chargers. We are streaming live around the world from Brisbane, Australia. Now you may be asking, if you're streaming in during a global pandemic, why we're able to have such a large audience here. Well, here in Brisbane, very luckily, we've got the pandemic and COVID under control, but we understand our staff in the US and Europe and our customers, that's not the case. There's struggle still. So we stand behind you and stand here ready to help any way we can. The revolutionary new product, the RTM, represents a formidable combination of the world-leading expertise that we have in the teams around the company. It represents a cumulative experience and millions of hours of uptime from our thousands of chargers that are installed around the world. And it also represents the vision and the tenacity of our new product and engineering teams. Tritium's product leadership is well recognised in the industry. It's driven by the differentiation of our proprietary technology. So why do customers buy Tritium chargers? There are other companies who can develop an EV charger, but what makes an EV charger great? Well, we believe a great EV charger has several key qualities. First of all, safety is paramount. It needs to be safe for the users, for the people installing the chargers, and for the people and the agents who service them on a daily basis. It needs to be reliable. It needs to be able to charge a car the first time, every time. And it needs to have a great support network 24/7 behind it. It needs to be efficient in the way it transfers electricity from the electricity grid to the car, minimising energy losses and making sure when it's on standby, there's low standby consumption. It needs to be robust. It doesn't matter where you install this charger, beside the ocean or in the desert. It needs to be resistant to water. It needs to be resistant and weatherproof to dust and corrosive air. It needs to have a low lifetime cost. It needs to be cheap. It needs to be affordable, and it needs to have a service and maintenance that doesn't break the bank and affords the company profitability. It needs to be connected and intelligent. It needs to be gathering data as it's being used and feeding that data back to the operators so they can make informed decisions about their business and about providing the customers with an excellent experience. These qualities are all hard to execute, especially in one package. But Tritium excels in executing these qualities. Because it's our only focus, we live and breathe DC fast charging. That's what we do. And it's also because of the unique DNA of the company. Doing these things well over the years has propelled Tritium from a small consultancy in the suburbs of Brisbane to now being a global company, a global organisation around the world, delivering fast chargers to customers and maintaining them. Now please sit back and watch a video, the video which explains the philosophies behind Tritium and what drives our DNA.
Founded in 2001 by e-mobility pioneers, Tritium specialises exclusively in developing the world's most technologically advanced DC fast chargers. We service the globe from offices in Australia, the United States and Europe. Tritium has thousands of DC fast chargers deployed in countries all around the world, delivering millions of charging sessions to EV drivers every year.
Tritium is an advanced technology company and industry leader, enabling the mass electrification of the transport industry. Through our global achievements with EV charging infrastructure, we've actually already offset 3.6 million litres of fossil fuels. It's an inspiring vision to be a part of, and it's something we just couldn't have done without our shareholders who've been on this journey with us, supporting this vision of a clean energy future.
It was a wonderful opportunity 7 years ago to meet these founders and to invest in their visions. The Tritium roadmap now with this product is to provide electric vehicle charging as convenient and as fast as filling up your internal combustion engines. That's only been achieved with wonderful expertise within the company, but with the benefit of 4 very valuable investors and shareholders in the company. Not only the Baker Fund with its expertise in electricity retailing, electricity technologies, Varley, since 1886 in Newcastle, an advanced engineering manufacturing company interested in electrification of transport vehicles, amongst aerospace and other things. Ilwella, and a range of energy venture capital investments and construction, and Gilbarco, the world's leading, for 150 years, leading the world in mobility services and services to vehicle refueling.
We founded Tritium all the way back in 2001 to take the technology that we developed in solar racing around power electronics and commercialise that. The fact that these solar cars could just drive from 8 AM every morning to 5 PM every day on the power of a toaster, and it would get ahead of us and we'd have to get in our fossil fuel powered vehicle and try to catch up to this thing, and quite often you'd hear teams getting speeding tickets trying to keep up, and for us to be able to do that with that technology back then, it made it real that we could actually make this happen in the future, and so really made me quite passionate about trying to take this technology into normal passenger vehicles in the future. Initially we were working in specialised engineering projects in all different areas around extreme environments, in remote area power generation to submarines and all these sorts of specialised engineering projects that required that high robust, high reliability and very compact but also efficient solutions. And we continue to drive our products forward with that same clarity today.
Tritium is the only company in the world to develop water, dust and corrosive airproof chargers, made possible by their unique liquid-cooled and IP65 rated sealed enclosures. And these are just some of the many reasons why our customers refer to us as the global technology leader in the fast charging industry.
Well, it really comes back to the DNA of the company and the experience of the founders and the experience of the shareholders working together and producing this differentiation. The founders have done power electronics in all sorts of climates around the world, the hottest, the highest, the deepest, the coldest. The projects they've done are incredible, and that experience comes through into their products, making them robust, making them liquid-cooled, sealed enclosure, small footprint. The titans of industry are on our board and our shareholders and provide a huge amount of advanced manufacturing skill, electricity industry skill, and experience with making sure these chargers are reliable, they're installed and they're serviced properly.
We forge long-term relationships with our customers. It's a partnership where we listen to the customer, we understand their most important requirements and their decision points, and then we want to deliver to them. So we deliver profitability, we deliver reliability, and at the end we want to deliver this seamless user experience for the electric vehicle driver.
Thank you. Now please welcome to the stage Tritium CEO, Mrs. Jane Hunter.
Well, thanks very much, Dave, and we're really pleased to have you all join us here tonight, so thank you so much for taking the time out, whether you're here at the Convention Centre in Brisbane or whether you've joined us online tonight. We know you're all very busy, so we really appreciate you being here tonight for the launch of Tritium's groundbreaking new product range. Look, Tritium's an incredibly exciting business to be a part of. The electrification of the transport industry has reached tipping point. So there's no going back. We're not going to return to internal combustion engine vehicles. And the global uptake of EVs and charging infrastructure is just growing at an incredible pace. So we're really in a very privileged position in this industry because we've been here since the start, since its nascency, and now we're here at the tipping point with this incredible growth to come. E-mobility is an industry where everyone working in it has this strong sense of mission and purpose and camaraderie, even across businesses. And that's because we all know that when we come to work on a day-to-day basis, we're contributing to the benefit of the environment, to human health, and just generally to quality of life as we reduce noise pollution. So there's so many huge advantages to what we're doing, and that just gives us all a really strong sense of value in what we do on a day-to-day basis. Now, Tritium has been lucky to be at the absolute forefront of this complex power electronics technology for the past 20 years. So right from its genesis back in the solar racing industry, and if we think about what's important in solar racing, you need a small form factor, you need light, it can't be too heavy, you need liquid cooling to keep it cool, and you need power efficiency. And those technology building blocks have translated really beautifully into electric vehicle DC charging, because there's a lot of really similar needs. You want the small footprint. Very often you're trying to retrofit into urban areas, and sometimes those urban areas are residential, so it needs to be small, fit into those densely populated sites. Cities like London, Shanghai, Beijing, you've got to be able to fit into those sites, and that's really been something that's been at the forefront for Tritium. Tritium has been the tech leader in fast DC charging globally, and we do remain the only company among all of our competitors with liquid-cooled technology. And the benefits for those of you who aren't customers with liquid-cooled technology is it allows the smallest footprint on the market. So it allows you to have a very slim footprint, which is great from a retrofit perspective. But it also allows us to have this fully sealed container. A lot of our competitors use air cooling, and they have air filters, and that sucks things into the charger, and you need to replace the air filters. But for us with this liquid cooling, we've got this fully sealed IP65 rated container, and that keeps out pests and creepy crawlies, really important in Australia, but actually important in a lot of countries. And it keeps out the elements, and it keeps out environmental contaminants, dust, dirt, salt, all of those sorts of things. And it's very low maintenance. So that's been a key competitive advantage for us that the founders, developed in the early days of solar racing, and we really do have some strong IP protections to protect that technology. So to maintain our position as a leading global exporter of DC chargers, we do invest very heavily in research and development to stay at the forefront of that market. And that allows us to rapidly iterate on prototyping. So we do rapid prototyping development of an advanced technology, and that allows us to bring new products to market on a really regular basis. So at least every year, sometimes multiple times a year, we can introduce new products to market. And to facilitate that rapid prototyping, I'm really excited to announce that we're building the world's most high-power test and certification facility right here in Brisbane, co-located with our R&D facility. So the engineers will be able to walk straight across right next door to iterate and learn in that facility, and ultimately to self-certify and then even third-party certify in that facility. And it is actually a world first. There's nobody else in the world who can test at 720 kilowatt power. And currently that largely is done for us in Germany. You have to join a queue with an agency over there, incredibly expensive, and if you don't pass, which is very common with EMC, you have to go back and iteratively test, then we have to book again and go back again. So this is just absolutely key critical advantage for us in the market. And we're just terribly excited to bring that to Brisbane, because it is going to attract other industry to the state. We'll always want to be top of the queue when we're using it, but we're certainly happy to have third parties come and use it as well. So that's going to be great for us when it comes online within the next quarter. And this heritage and our competitive advantages have allowed us to launch this advanced, groundbreaking technology tonight. And we're really confident it's going to be the next market-leading product suite in this industry. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. We hope you have a great time. I think you'll enjoy the technology when it gets unveiled. I'm going to hand you back over to David.
Thanks very much, Jane. Now at this point I'd like to acknowledge the three founders in the room. Dr. David Finn is our Chief Growth Officer and leads a new product development at Tritium. James Kennedy is the Chief Technology Officer, and Paul Cernier, who is a Non-Executive Director. Over 3 generations, Tritium has delivered chargers that have truly set themselves apart from the competition, and tonight that tradition will continue. If Tritium is described as the world tech leader, in my opinion, that must make Dr. David Finn the world's leading product visionary for the EV charging sector. Please put your hands together for Dr. David Finn.
Good evening all, and thank you for the warm welcome, David, and thank you to you all for making time in your busy schedules to be here tonight with us on this momentous occasion. The electrification of transportation is a tipping point, and tonight I'll present to you how we will help you, our customers, push this revolution forward. 134 years ago, in 1886, Carl Benz sparked a revolution in transportation when he invented the first automobile. It looked more like a horseless cart than a car as we know it. But over the next 20 years, the technology progressed to the point where Henry Ford was able to work out how to mass produce these vehicles, spawning the automotive industry as we know it. Over the next 100 years, we as a civilization built 65 million miles of road, 500,000 fueling stations around the globe, and the automotive industry made impossibly complex machines cheap and safe enough for everyone to own and operate, enabling the mass market uptake of vehicles. In 1985, the lithium-ion battery was invented, enabling mobile devices. Now, these ever-shrinking mobile devices and the growth of the internet drove demand for these batteries over the next 3 decades. And this demand drove the technology and the cost forward to the point where electric vehicles became feasible about 1 decade ago. This is the point where the history of transportation and Tritium's histories intersect. 100 years after that first vehicle rolled off Henry Ford's production line, we saw the first purpose-built models of electric vehicle hit the market. And as we did, we at Tritium saw the opportunity to charge these vehicles in a more scalable and capital-efficient manner using DC charging. DC charging is fundamentally more capital efficient and scalable because it is shared across many, many vehicles, hundreds, avoiding the need to replicate the charger over and over again on every single vehicle. This is why Tritium has and will remain focused 100% on DC charging. We used our historic knowledge and technology from the renewable energy and automotive sectors to develop a DC fast charger that was able to work across a wide range of environmental conditions with a lowered service requirement. Now, this capability was really sought after in these early stages when we're trying to build out capacity, build out coverage across cities. And hence, Tritium enjoyed working very closely with a lot of our customers across US, Europe, and Australia and New Zealand. And I must point out that this charger is still the most compact and best environmentally protected charger on the market, even 6 years after its release. And I think that is a testament to the engineering prowess of Tritium that we designed this over a decade ago. These first-generation vehicles were well accepted with early innovators and adopters in the marketplace. However, they were challenged to be able to drive between cities. So the vehicle manufacturers got to work designing new long-range vehicles with high-power charging capability. And these vehicles have been coming to market over the last few years, but they required new high-speed charging infrastructure. Tritium was able to execute, quickly scaling up and extending our technology to be able to deliver Europe's largest high-power charging network 18 months after its conception. This charging infrastructure was 7 times the power of our first generation. It was able to add 300 miles range in just 15 minutes. That meant we could drive from Brisbane to Sydney, 2 stops, 15 minutes each. Los Angeles to San Francisco, 1 stop of 15 minutes. Although these new vehicles were able to do everything that conventionally fueled counterparts could, and more for that matter, they were still luxury vehicles or expensive mid-range solutions. But this is all changing now, with new mass-market electric vehicles rolling off the world's production lines now in volume. These large volumes of new vehicles coming to marketplace require us to build out charging capacity both in cities and on the highways. Tritium will again provide you with the solutions you need to be able to scale to meet this demand and do this in a very capital efficient manner. Our customers are at the front line of this industry, working to solve challenges for electric vehicle drivers on a daily basis. Working in close partnership with you all over the last 6 years has provided us the insight that we needed to develop a revolutionary new hardware platform. You'll find many inclusions that together make the products on this platform very easy to own and operate. And we have totally changed the game on scalability and capital efficiency. Take, for instance, this charging park here, which has the same vehicle throughput as a 16-hose fueling station. As the mass market of electric vehicles continues, this sort of infrastructure will become more commonplace. For the moment, our customers are installing charging stations 2 to 4 at a time. But they all ask, how do I quickly and effectively scale to meet the demand with no regrets as it comes? So with that in mind, I ask you, how would you like to be able to add a charging station to your existing site for half the price that you would now? How would you like to spend half to a third getting that site connected to start with? Or be able to defer the connection costs of upgrading that site for years on end? Have all the charging stations on that site, same size, same cost, twice the power, and twice the reliability. And be able to design the site for the robustness or the reliability that you wish, all while spending half as much on the cabling around that site, saving tens of thousands of dollars on current sites or hundreds of thousands of dollars on a site of this scale. But ultimately, being able to build a whole new charging park of 12 chargers for the price of 7, all without sacrificing the quality or feature set of the product. So how can this be achieved? Well, as I said, it's certainly not by sacrificing the quality or the capability. What we have done is we've extended on the original concept of DC charging, that shared infrastructure piece. We've pulled out half the charging station, the rectification, centralised that, and shared that across the site. Welcome to the revolutionary modular scalable charging platform by Tritium. It is fundamentally more capital efficient and scalable than any other solution. And it is able to be applied to any charging application. Tonight, we launched the first product on the MSC platform, the RTM75. The RT stands for retail and the M for modular. 75 means we can put up to 75 kilowatts worth of modules in it. It packages up the complete stack of technology that Tritium has developed over the years into a set of modules that lets us rapidly address whatever need you have on the market. The RTM is configured for 3-phase mains input. It is perfect for building coverage across a city. Without any further ado, I'll ask James to come up. And I'll give to you the RTM75.
Introducing the RTM, the third generation of Tritium DC charging systems. It's easy to install, easy to own and easy to use. The simultaneous charging feature reduces wait times and increases revenue. And its 6-metre long cables with cable management can reach any vehicle and reduces cable maintenance, while the LCD screen with advanced viewing angles optimises transaction flow. Born out of 40 million hours of cumulative uptime in the field, combined with the award-winning design philosophies of Tritium's engineering team, this charger delivers best-in-class reliability, performance and driver experience. The RTM can be easily installed in just under 2 hours on any existing concrete footing and can amplify your brand through tailor-made front and back decals. Designed with field serviceability in mind, it offers easy access, single-person lift modules, and all within a sealed enclosure to reduce wear and tear on internal components. Future-proof your electrification journey with Tritium.
I'm just going to take a few minutes now to walk you through some of the key features of the product. First of all, you'll notice it's on a very slim footprint, the same as the RT55. In fact, the bolt pattern is exactly the same with the conduits underneath, so you can swap and change those charges around. We've maintained the IP65 rating on the enclosure to stop any ingress of dust or moisture over the years, extending the lifetime. But we've made it easier to open now. So I'll invite Jay to start opening up the charger. We've also maintained the large branding surface on it, so you can see that big, large downlights, and people love that about the RT50, so that's maintained. The credit card reader is now integrated. We can put any credit card reader on the market onto this charger, integrated with 2 already, and I must demonstrate the long cable reach because of the cable management now. So we can reach any car parked in any position. Now, as you open the door here, you'll see there's actually only one tool required to undo that one security screw, and the rest is all just by hand. And so this is really important for the servicing of the charger in the field. You can see inside here the modular construction. Down the bottom is the input circuit. This is because we actually sell all over the world, and we need different input circuits for different parts of the world. Here are the rectification units. And up the top are the DC to DC units that actually are charging the car. As we look onto the door here, we have the charge control module and the daughter boards that let us mix and match the cables. So if you want to have 2 CCS cables, you can. 2 CHAdeMO can do that as well. And then the HMI, which can be changed, and the credit card reader, which is actually only a 15-minute change in the field if you need to change from an RFID reader to a credit card reader. At the top, you can see our DC meter. This is in certification at the moment. This means that we can actually measure the energy that's flowing to the car rather than to the charger, which is important in many parts of the world. I think the only other thing to point out here is Jay's going to come in and install the module, as you would in the field if we were replacing it. On this side here, you have the electrical connections. On this side, the liquid cooling fittings. So all the modules are all single-person lift. So the module that Jay has at the moment, 16 kilograms, can be done by a single person. Everything inside the charger is designed to be able to be done by a single person in the field within 30 minutes. And that's how simple it is. I'll let you close the door. Oh, up to you, Jay. So tonight we launched the RTM configuration of the MSC. There are 2 other configurations. The first is the PKM, PK for park. It's designed for building out a whole charging park. It's also M for modular. It will be coming in 2 variants. The 150 kilowatt, so you can put up to 150 kilowatt worth of modules in, and the 350 kilowatt, both releasing over 2021. And then the DPM. A DP stands for depot. It's for large-scale depot fleet charging. And obviously M's for modular again. This configuration will be available in 2022. As you may have noticed as I walk through the RTM75 there, it already contains all the building blocks we need to quickly release the PKM configuration. Those 2 rectifiers at the bottom that I pointed out, if we remove them, we provide enough space to be able to install 6 rather than 3 charging modules, increasing the power to 150 kilowatts in that same package that we currently have 75. Now this PKM architecture unleashes the full power of the MSC platform. Straight away, we can put charging stations onto an existing site for half the price. We can reduce the cost of connection when we design the site in this manner by a half to a third. And because we can efficiently interconnect energy storage at that site too, we can also defer connection costs for years on end. We can double the power of the charging station just straight away. That goes from 75 to 150 kilowatts. And the rectification system is now gone from the charger, so it can't fail, so you've doubled the reliability. And you can configure the site because you now have a lot more flexibility with what you're doing around rectification and charging stations. You can now configure the site for your desired reliability at the site. And because all the cabling around the site is now at 950 volts DC, everything is half the size, saving tens of thousands of dollars at the moment and hundreds of thousands of dollars on large-scale installations. The DPM configuration on the MSC platform allows for specialised dispensers and connectors, and also extremely high power rates. Now, we've taken advantage of the fact that when you're doing a large-scale fleet deployment, you have a very good knowledge, it's a very structured rollout, you know exactly when the vehicles are coming. And so what we do is we centralise the charging modules as well. Still keep them separate from the rectification, so we can again have that efficient interconnection of energy storage, and choosing a different level of charging system compared to rectification, which still gives you all the core benefits of the MSC platform. Ultimately, but the MSC platform packages up our complete charging technology stack into a set of modules that lets us rapidly respond to your needs. So whether you're in the business of home charging, workplace charging, public charging, or large-scale fleets, we look forward to working closely with you over the coming years using this revolutionary new product platform to help you electrify transportation globally, and for both of us to enable energy freedom for EV owners around the world. Thank you.
Thanks, David. What an awesome presentation, what an awesome product. And as you can see, there's a lot to look forward to on the Tritium product roadmap. Now to a very important part of the evening where we hear from the regions of this great planet that drive us every day to charge towards an electrified transport future. Yes, indeed, Europe and the US are leading the world in electric vehicle uptake, and those electric vehicles are hungry for our chargers. Firstly, I'd like to cross to Manuel Fernandez in Amsterdam, Tritium's European President. Take it away, Manuel.
Thank you, Dave. Good evening, Australia. Good morning, Europe. Today is for me a proud moment. After 6 years in the company and helping bring this company to Europe, the thousands of chargers installed, the many countries where we are, the many networks that we have been helping to bring up this new platform today. You know, this platform comes as a sum up of all the experiences. Your experiences, our experiences, the driver's experiences. All those together came to the development of the platform that we are showing you today. The compilation of all that is making us do better every time. And this time, we really believe that we are bringing you something out of the box, something amazing, something that you will be surprised. And this first announcement that we are doing today, it will be continued by further announcements, and at my side, by the invitation to bring you up into the European Interoperability Center where I stand, a center made to test with you, to check with you, to compatibilize with you. A center that was created for us to hear with you all that, but also test towards the future. Unfortunately, we couldn't have you. From tomorrow onwards, we have set the conditions for you to come and visit us. This platform, as I said, brings up all the feedbacks together to what we believe will be a revolutionary new charging way. And that is not just for the driver, but for yourselves. The way that you can grow your networks, the way that you can expand them, the way that you can build them. We focus on the serviceability. We focus on the modularity. We focus on growing it over time. We focus on the customer experience, trying to create the best of all. So I thank you once more for joining us. I'm proud to be here with you, and I look forward to see you from tomorrow onwards.
Yes, yes. Europe certainly holds a very special place in our heart, being home to some of the largest networks we've rolled out. And also a special shout out to the Scandinavians and especially the Norwegians who are leading the world in EV uptake and who also love Tritium chargers. We have a very good market share in those countries. Obviously the Scandinavians have a great taste when it comes to product design. Now we're off to the Americas, where Tritium's president there, Mike Calise, has been making waves with his DC Everywhere mantra. Take it away, Mike.
Welcome to my office in our world-class innovation center in Torrance, California. Just south of Los Angeles, the center of gravity for transportation and e-mobility. Hi, I'm Mike Calise, President of the Americas, and we're thrilled to launch the RTM75 and the modular, scalable, charging hardware platform, otherwise known as MSC. These are revolutionary innovations in EV charging technology, and we offer a world of opportunity for businesses, whether you're retail or workplace or hospitality, as well as fleets, ports, and a large variety of charge point operators. With our recent change in U.S. federal administration, we expect over 500,000 chargers to be deployed. In addition, nearly $500 billion will be invested in e-mobility overall. Historically, DC has been relegated to city-to-city charging, or what we call corridor charging, DC fast charging. At Tritium, our mission is to deploy DC everywhere. And now we're starting to see DC charging move from corridor charging to inner cities and high-density populations. One great example of this is the city of Pasadena, and they now can tout the largest publicly available DC charging installation in the United States. Tritium looks forward to partnering with you on a whole host of all of our DC charge-related solutions. True energy freedom is only realized when you can drive anywhere and everywhere and not have to think or plan for where your next charge will be. Thank you so much for listening in, and I look forward to seeing you charge on a RTM75 pretty soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Certainly some very encouraging signs from the EV industry in the US. Exciting times ahead. Now, another big announcement that has been completely overshadowed by the product release is the launch of our new website today. That's right, we didn't think launching one product was enough. We wanted to challenge ourselves, and we're doing 2 launches today. So the new website is now live. Please be sure to go and check it out. Now, our production team is on standby. They actually start producing this charger in 2 weeks' time. So the order books are open. Please call us. Please call our salespeople. Contact us through the website. Don't hold yourself back. We know you want to order. Please place those orders. We're building the chargers now, and we can have them starting to be delivered over the next couple of months. Thanks very much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes the official proceedings this evening. Thanks again to all of our friends who have tuned in around the world. Please stay safe. Thank you very much.